Money in the vortex, money in the vortex, money in the vortex. Let me get my bell from Egypt for our new members. Money in the vortex. Money in the vortex, money in the vortex. I think I just woke up everyone in your house, right? I'm Reverend Valerie Love, and you are on A Course in Miracles. Happy Turkey Day! Happy Turkey Day, everybody, everybody, everybody in the U.S. To all of our U.S. friends, I'm no longer in the U.S., I'm a global citizen now. Yet, and to all of our friends in the U.S. of A, happy Turkey Day! Happy Turkey Day. A Course in Miracles, 365 days straight of being together every single morning at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. And congratulations, healing conversations with Angela. Congratulations on being a member or being a member again. Congratulations, because members get a library. You get access to the vault of my books, and you get them in ebook form, and we just love our members. We love everyone. We love everyone. We appreciate our members because the members support the channel with $4.99 every single month. And it is such a beautiful thing. Such a beautiful thing. Because as you know, there are no ads running on any of these vids at all. So the YouTube bots are not searching for loud blaring ads to put in front of our meditation and our breathing and our reflection and our contemplation of the course. So this is, as PBS says, member supported. So if you love it, the links are below for my Strike, which I love Strike because Strike is a Bitcoin Lightning app. I love Strike. I did a whole video about Strike right here on the channel. And in addition to that, I also have down there for you Cash App. And though I don't highly recommend Bitcoin on Cash App, I do love to receive Bitcoin on Cash App. So, I love Bitcoin. Bitcoin is my husband. I love Bitcoin. All right, let's breathe. 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 And be thankful. Today is a day that millions of people will gather together around a table or in homes or with family, with friends. And they'll express their thanks, and they'll pray and slice turkeys and eat cranberry sauce and laugh and watch football games and play football and be thankful. That is in the US of A. Around the globe, it's another day. So if you're somewhere else around the globe, we get to be thankful every day. Ashe. Be thankful. A Course in Miracles. Let's go. Congratulations for being here every day or every other day or weekends or whenever you get up and remember. It's all good. It's all good. I choose the second place to gain the first. These are very short lessons. We are heading all the way up to lesson 360, the last lesson, which we do 5 times in the course. pardon me, we are at day 328, which means we have 37. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. 30, 37 days to go. No more live streams. No more. I'll miss you all so much. Oh, I'm having withdrawals already. It's all good. It's all good. Good is the enemy of great. And while this is really good, really good, really good, I know in the vision what the great is. The great is in the room with our peeps in person. I'm going for the great. I'm going for it. I choose the second place to gain the first. Just like Oprah, when she did the Oprah show for 20 something seasons. And then she said, I know what the great is. This is good. I got this down pat. I can keep doing this in my sleep. I'm going for the great. She knew what the great was, her own network. Wow. Go for the great. What seems to be the second place is first. For all things we perceive are upside down until we listen to the voice for God. We will be upside down and confused until we consistently listen to the voice for God. Pardon me. It seems that we will gain autonomy, but by our striving to be separate. That's what it seems like. And that our independence from the rest of God's creation is the way in which salvation is obtained. We are made to believe that gaining our autonomy, being independent, standing on your own 2 feet, pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, be independent, be an icon, be separate, and that our independence from the rest of God's creation is the way in which salvation is obtained. Stand out. Be your own person. Be a maverick. Yet all we find is sickness, suffering, and loss and death. This is not what our Father wills for us, nor is there any second to his will. To join with his, to join with hers, to join with God's, to join with spirits, to join with Wankantanka, to join with Yahweh, Jah, Krishna, Buddha, Olodumare. To join with is but to find our own. To join with, not to foster feelings, a sense of separation, standing out. I got this. I'm doing this. We are one with the one. We are one with the whole. And since our will is his, your will is God's will. God's will is our will. There is only one true will, capital W will. That will is the will to good. In the mystery school, in the lesson, the 11 statements of creation, we remember the statement that is drawn from the pattern on the trestle board. And the pattern on the trestle board gives us 11 statements of creation. And one of the statements is, I am a center of expression for the primal will to good, which eternally creates and sustains the universe. I am, you are a center of expression for what? What are we expressing? A center of expression for the primal, first, before all, foundational, the primal, the causative force, the primal will to good, will, capital W, good, capital G, will to good. There is a will, a divine will. The divine will is happiness. The Course says God's will for me is perfect happiness. Tell yourself. Remember, you don't believe it when I say it. You believe it when you say it, beloved. God's will for me is perfect happiness. And I would imagine that is your will for you too. So where your will and God's will meets, or God, if that word has some negative connotations on it, the universe, the great invisible spirit, where the will of the great invisible spirit and your will meet, right at the central plexus, the central sun, is one and the same. It is exactly the same. The exact same thing the universe wills for you is what you will for you. That is why in the course we see the will, capital W, will. This is also taught in witchcraft with the witch's pyramid. To know, to will, to dare, to keep silent. To know is at the top of our pyramid. To know, to will, to dare, to keep silent. These are the four tenets of the witch's pyramid. Look it up. To know, to will, to dare, to keep silent. To know what you're doing, to know yourself, to know the universe, to will, to align the will. What is the will? Aleister Crowley said what the will is. Many people misunderstood Aleister Crowley. I speak in terms of magic and witchcraft because that's my lane that I love. It's one way of looking at the world among billions, trillions, infinite ways of looking at things. Aleister Crowley said, "Do as thou will shall be the whole of the law." People mistook his words to think that meant do whatever the fuck you feel like doing. No. Do as thou will shall be the whole of the law. The will is the divine unction. The will is what you feel inside, sense, know within yourself is the thing for you. The will, capital W. What you know you're called to do, that path you're called on, that some call it destiny, some call it purpose, the will. When you exercise your will, like, why do I want to write books? Why do I want to teach? Why do I want to speak on stages? It's the will, it's the divine will. And the more we align with the divine will and not think that there's some other will, there's no other will, capital W. Do as thou will shall be the whole of the law. It's a cryptogram that all you are beholden to is fully fulfilling that will that you really want to do. We're not talking about passing fancies. Pardon me. We're not talking about an idea that comes to me. I think I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to do that. We're not talking about these fleeting fancies and these little things. And we're not talking about that. We're talking about there is something and some group of things in your life that has been consistently drawing you up. Consistently, you've been giving yourself and giving attention to this thing. Consistently has been the call of the universe, and it is what you love. It could be song. It could be dance. It could be writing. It could be poetry. Look at Maya Angelou. If she had not written the words and performed the words on stage, phenomenal woman, phenomenally, we would not have the will of the creator as Maya Angelou. There is the will of the creator as Soul Whisperer, will of the creator as Angela, a will of the creator as God's garden girl. The will is not some big dude in heaven imposing its arbitrary laws on you. This God in the Bible is so arbitrary. You didn't know if you were going to step on his toes and get zapped with hailstorms or pestilence or a war or captivity or fire from heaven. Ugh. That's not what we're talking about. We get to wash all of the Christian conditioning out of our systems all the way down to the core. Wash it all out. There may be some residue in there or some big chunks in there that we get to wash out, and the course is very good at scrubbing it out. Sickness, suffering, loss, and death is not what our Father wills for us, nor is there any second to his will. To join with his, to join with hers, to join with the universe, to join with love, to join with life, whatever you desire to call it, is but to find our own. To join with the universe is but to find your own will. We find our will in the oneness, not standing separate, independent. People forgot what comes after independent. We're born dependent. A baby is the most fragile thing on the planet in all the species. We're born dependent, totally dependent on its progenitors for everything. And then we move and we become more independent in our family, in our people, in our parents. They want us to become independent members of society. And then we forgot to grow into the third phase and the most fulfilling interdependence. This is not codependence. I need you and you need me, and we're going to lean on each other and create an unconscious entanglement, as spoken of in the book Conscious Loving. Get it? It's my Bible for relationships. Conscious loving, and not just, pardon me, quote unquote, quote, romantic relationships, really for all relationships. And in there, it talks about the co-commitments one would make to create a consciously loving relationship rather than having a codependent entanglement. Most people are in codependent entanglements, and in there it talks about moving from independence, which of course is talking about you're not going to find it in independence, being your own person. People look at Jeff Bezos as if he created just tremendous fortune, and he did. Jeff Bezos did not create that tremendous fortune on his own. And I get that Jeff Bezos created this tremendous fortune because Jeff Bezos listened to the divine will. The divine will showed him a vision long before anyone else could see it, that people would be buying things online. And when he told everybody about it, I want to get some VCs and investors for his company. He said the number one question people asked him whenever he went and presented it and said, I need $25,000 from you or whatever the amount was, because I'm going to have a store on the internet. And he had a whole presentation. He said the most common question he got is, what's the internet? That question would sound ludicrous today. That was the question he had to answer. He was cutting edge. He was ahead of his time. He had to explain to people what the thing is, just like we do in soul excursions with the NFT. People can't even fathom that you buy a pass and you use it a lifetime pass. They cannot even fathom that. What's the catch? They can't fathom it because we're talking about something futuristic. Jeff Bezos didn't do it by himself. Jeff Bezos, and I did a whole video about this. I said the reason Jeff Bezos is so rich is because he made so many other people rich. That is really the true reason. Now, people can hate on billionaires or not. I don't hate on billionaires as I become one. How can I hate on billionaires and become a billionaire at the same time? It's not going to happen. I don't have any problems with elite people, rich people, all this stuff that people talk about. Oh, the elites, I don't, who cares? You run your life. Who cares what the elites are doing? You do what you do. Become somebody and change it. Jeff Bezos gave hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people, the ability to be entrepreneurs. What does that mean? They could have their own business inside of an existing business structure that provided tremendous infrastructure. They didn't have to have websites. They didn't have to have this, that, or the other. They didn't have to do payment processing. They didn't have to do customer service. They didn't have to do any of that. All they needed to do was come on Amazon and sell something good. There are, at my last check, there are over 100,000 businesses on Amazon that make over $100,000 a year. Kid, what would your life look like if you empowered and gave to people the tools, the strategy, the means, the support, the infrastructure for them to sell what they wanted to sell and make? And that's just in the Amazon store. We're talking about the independent sellers. We're not even talking about the authors. How many 7-figure authors are on Amazon? 6-figure authors? How many 7-figure businesses are on Amazon? Jeff Bezos works with the universe the way the universe wants to be worked with. He works with the universe the way the universe works, and that's why he has what he has. Now, a lot of people will say, "Oh, well, he has what he has because laws favor the rich, and you don't have to pay as much taxes." And you don't have... That's all secondary. We're ignoring cause, which is always invisible. All these things are in the third dimension. That's once it gets here, something had to cause it, and cause is always in consciousness. Independence is going to get us there. You doing it by yourself. You being the one. I had to learn this lesson. Still learning this lesson. I had to learn this lesson. You're not going to do it by yourself. You're not. All these stars we see, people that look like, wow, you made it, you did it. How many people are around them? How many people did they empower? How many people did they work with? It was interdependence. Jewish people understand this very well. Very well. They buy something from the baker. It's a Jewish baker. The Jewish baker takes that money and gives it to the Jewish hospital. The Jewish hospital takes care of the Jewish kids. Did they understand this? Very well. Interdependence. Read the book by Reverend, well, he's not a reverend, let me not say Reverend, Rabbi Daniel Lapin, whom I love, has been one of my greatest wealth teachers, called Thou Shalt Not Lack. Making sure that's the name of it. It's something like that. He made it a commandment that you can't be broke and poor and limited. Thou shalt not. Look up Rabbi Daniel Lapin, Lapin. He has a newsletter and everything. He's absolutely spectacular. He will teach you so much about, and this is from a Jewish person. This is from a rabbi. He will teach you more about wealth in one sentence, probably than you could learn from a school. Rabbi Daniel Lapin said, all wealth is dependent upon this simple factor. If you can get this simple factor of reciprocity and cooperation, partnership. I pay you, you pay that person, you pay that person. He says it's an interconnected. All your wealth depends upon an interconnected operation of people who are working together. And what do you see people? This is the exact same thing the Course is saying. So what this is saying here is that you're not going to get it being your own person. You're only going to find, pardon me, sickness, suffering, loss, and death. You're only going to find yourself alone trying to be a star. What we all desire is to remember ourselves as one with all, leaving no one out, making nothing separate, the whole, the whole, the whole, the whole. Joined, interconnected. We call it being in community. Reciprocity, cooperation, collaboration. Wallace Waddell said the same thing in his book, The Science of Getting Rich. He said, do not become rich by the competitive method, become rich by the cooperative method. That's exactly by the creative method, which is the cooperative method. Just create something new that nobody ever saw before. Jeff Bezos, Tesla. Just create something new that no one ever had before. iPhone. And you wonder why these billion-dollar ideas are just billions upon billions upon billions. It was never done before. People did not catch the vision and press and press and press and go for and keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. And people telling you you're crazy. What's the internet? Nobody's ever going to put their credit card in the internet. Are you kidding me? Well, Amazon is sitting there with about 5 or 6 of your credit cards on file. Like, why do we trust them so much? Is Amazon God? But they got your addresses, probably every address you ever been on since you've been using Amazon. They know more about you probably than your family. They know what you're really buying that you won't tell anybody else. Wow. Interdependence. Look and find the principles that the Course is talking about. The Course is talking about real world principles that really work for real people, that are practical. These are not just esoteric words. The Course is both esoteric and practical. And since our will is His, our will is the will of the universe. It is to Him that we must go to recognize our will. We must go to the universe to recognize what our will even is. Here's our prayer. There is no will but yours, universe. There is no will but the universal will. You can't, if you make up something other than the universal will, I'm going to go kill all the people, Jeffrey Dahmer. Well, that's not the universal will. You will come to naught. You're always going to come to naught if you're trying to do something that is a made up will other than the will of the universe. The will of the universe is beauty, love, joy, peace, bliss, happiness, creativity, spontaneous eruptions of awe. The universe loves awe. The universe loves peace, serenity, tranquility. The universe loves kittens playing and lions tumbling over each other. You ever see those baby lions tumbling all over their father? He's like, oh, please get off me. The universe loves play, playfulness, laughter, frivolity, dancing, singing, eating great food. The universe loves that shit. It loves happiness. God's will for me is perfect happiness. God's will for you is perfect happiness. The universe loves that. Just do the things the universe loves. And when you are not working with the universe the way the universe works, you are going to suffer. There's no will but yours, universe. Let me get on the universal plan. What is the universe? What does the universe love? And I'm going to do that. And only that. And I'm glad that nothing I imagine contradicts what you would have me be. Nothing I imagine contradicts the true nature. It is your will that I be wholly safe, eternally at peace. It is the divine will that I be wholly safe and eternally at peace. So how can I go to Mexico and meet up with a cartel? That's not the will. People say things that are out of the will all the time. That is not the divine will. That's why I haven't seen a cartel yet. I doubt their existence. I do see cartels in the banking system, though, in the US of A, in the G7 countries. So I definitely see the cartel there. So don't point your finger at your neighbor. Haven't seen a cartel yet. Oh, be safe. Well, I'm wholly safe. That's the will of the universe, that I be wholly safe. It says, it is your will, universe, that I be wholly safe, eternally at peace. How can anything happen to anyone that the universal will? That means the whole universe is keeping me safe. How can something happen to you? Is there something that is stronger than the will of the universe? Is there something that's more powerful than the will of the universe? Well, you can go against the will of the universe by the ragged thoughts that we have that say, I'm not safe. And then because your thoughts create, you would have to bring it to you. You would have to. That's the law. That's why the Course keeps telling us, align your will, get rid of those. The Course talks about two things all the time: relinquish and resistance. Relinquish those beliefs you have. Relinquish the idea that you're sinful. Relinquish guilt. Relinquish shame. I tell you, this is how I know I have guilt in my consciousness. Guilt comes up so fast. I'm like, oh, there's the guilt again. Oh, hi, guilt. How you doing? My holiness is my salvation. Lesson 39. My holiness is my salvation. My holiness is my salvation. I go straight into my holiness is my salvation. I got guilty the other day when I came to Mexico. I'm home on the whole planet. I'm a global citizen, right? I came to one of my homes in Mexico. And I take a taxi from the airport, which at this particular airport, you can't call Uber. I don't know if you can call Uber to any of the airports, but anyway, you cannot call Uber to the airport. You have to get the taxi service at the airport. And so I know how the drill is now. Or if you want to go Uber, you go across the street off, walk away from the airport, go to the car rental place or something like that and call an Uber from there. Because an Uber is probably going to be 90 pesos, about $4.50, maybe 100 pesos, about $5 to take me all the way to my house. Yes, that would be a $45, $55 Uber ride in Miami. Anywho, that's another conversation for another day. This Uber at the airport is 300 pesos. Actually, I think it went up to 330 pesos. And while it's still only 15, 16 bucks, I know only because I live here for part of the time that it's still triple. It's more than triple what you would pay if you just called a Didi or an Uber. And I also know that a Mexican person would never pay that. Well, I can't say a Mexican person would never pay it because I do see other Mexican people paying it. Yet there are a plethora of options for way less than that. I pay because I know the drills. I get off the plane and no luggage. I tell you, going with that backpack it was so much freedom. It was not even funny. I walked past all those luggage lines. I walked past everything. It was like total freedom in the airport. I didn't have to stop and do anything. It was lovely. Anyway, I get the taxi and I pay for the taxi. And I realize I have no pesos because I'm not a cash gal. I mean, it's fake. It's all monopoly money. I don't have any pesos. And I don't have any pesos in my house either because sometimes I like to keep some monopoly money around. I did have some money on my altar. And that's a cooking spell for global abundance. I'm not going to take money off the altar. There's no money in here. There's no cash around here. And so I got out of the taxi. It's a taxi service. And I just pick up there's nothing in the trunk. I just threw my backpack in the trunk. And then he opened the trunk and I took my backpack out. And I did not have a tip to give him. Do you know the guilt came up just that fast? I was like, ugh. Okay, buenas noches, hasta luego. I went inside. I was like, I didn't give him a tip. Do you realize how many years I had been practicing a course in miracles? How is it possible that any guilt could find its way anywhere near me? And yet it does. I should have. Ooh. I see you, guilt. Oh, you tried to get me. You tried to rob the joy. I mean, the joy of being home at my house. Do you notice when the guilt comes up, when you're about to have some delicious, joyful experience? I'm back home. Yes, I love this home. Casa amor. And do you see the joy of coming into my home after being away for a while? I always have this feeling with joy of coming to Casa Amor because Casa Amor is like a big hug. And the joy, and do you see that the guilt, there was guilt lurking in my consciousness. How can we get her out of joy? Do you see how these things work? Be aware. Be acutely aware of what your consciousness is doing at all times. Oh, you're trying to eclipse my joy. Okay, consciousness. Do I want guilt or do I want joy? My holiness is my salvation. Lesson 39 is my antidote, my disintegrator of guilt. Lesson 39, we have many lessons that will disintegrate guilt and consciousness. My holiness is my salvation. I'm holy, not guilty. I'm the holy child of God. The holy child of God has nothing to be guilty for. See, because if you let that little guilt fester, you'll certainly sabotage yourself. Because guilty people have to be punished. Oh, I see where this is going. Nope. It is your will that I be wholly, safe, eternally at peace. And happily, I share that will with you, my mother, father, God gave as part of me. Happily, I share the will because the will is part of me. Happily, I share the will because the will is part of me. Say it to yourself. Happily, I share the will because the will is part of me. We ought to listen to this Course in Miracles. I tell you, I'm like Lewis Howes when he said this podcast is for me. This every day I'm doing this for me. I know everybody else. You get your salvation as you get it because you are your salvation. I'm doing this for me because I'm crazy. I'm doing this for me. Just so happens that I get to do it in front of a whole bunch of people. And they could say, oh, that lady's crazy. Or they could say, there's a point to all this. Or they could say, I'm going to do it with her. I'm doing this for me. I can't do it for anyone else other than me. I can't. So before I go and talk to my people today that I love, and before I connect with my Thanksgiving people, and before I connect with this person and that person, I cannot describe to you how eternally at peace I feel not doing Thanksgiving because we had big families. It wasn't fun for me. It wasn't. Maybe I could have made it fun. It's not fun for me. And I don't see why I need to keep doing something that a bunch of pilgrims did a long time ago. And they made it up, and people made it up. And I'm just going to be thankful every day. And I'm going to be eternally at peace. And y'all can have your turkey and you can have everything else. There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't see any need for me to do it. Nothing wrong with it. Keep doing it. Have fun. I'm going to tell everybody that's doing it today. I hope you have so much fun doing that. I hope you have a ball. And I am over here eternally at peace, and it's just another day, and there's not one turkey anywhere here in Mexico, and I do love that. Go where it works for you. And that is, of course, Miracles Lesson 328. I choose the second place to gain the first. Amir, do you know Rabbi Daniel Lapin? I'm going to bring up his book. I'm going to bring him up right now. Rabbi Daniel Lapin. He is astounding. When I tell you astounding, providing you with 3,000 years of ancient Jewish wisdom in the areas that matter in your, let me read it, in your life: family, health, family, faith, finances, friendships, and fitness. He can help you with family, faith, finances, friends, and fitness. I freaking love Rabbi Daniel Lapin. You know, Rabbi Daniel Lapin said something that I wholly and totally agree with. He said everyone should know a good rabbi. I'm like, that's so true. Just like a witch. I feel like everyone should know a good witch. I mean, you might be in a pinch where you need a good rabbi. You might be in a pinch where you need a good witch. You might be in a place where you need a good Buddhist. There's a lot of pinches in life. I think you ought to have a rabbi, a good rabbi. He can be your good rabbi. I'm telling you, he is one of my favorite rabbis, and I know a lot of rabbis. He's one of my favorite. He's one of my favorites. Get his books. Okay, let's go find his books. He has his teachings about us. Let's see if we can find his books in one place, hopefully. Online courses. Look at all this deliciousness. You could probably spend books. Here it goes in the store. Oh, come on, Daniel, Reverend Dan. Why do I want to call him Rabbi? Reverend. He's not a reverend. He's a rabbi. All right, Rabbi. Here you go. Where is the book? Where is the one that I like? There it is. Oh, I done messed the whole thing up. And it is on my website. I do have it on my website. Thou shalt prosper. The 10 Commandments for Making Money. This book will blow your mind. Thou shalt prosper. He made it a commandment that you prosper. Even Dave Ramsey said this is one of my all-time favorite money books. Free PDF sample, downloaded here. Free table of contents can be downloaded here. Free index can be downloaded here. Buy it on Amazon. Oh my God, you need to run and get this book. Thou shall prosper. It's a thick one too. It'll take you a minute to get through this. This is not a fly by night read. You want to put this on your nightstand. I think I'm going to start with him on January 1st with this. You want to put it on your nightstand. And every night before you go to bed, you want to soak in thou shalt prosper. I'm giving you a spell right here. It's just coming to me. You want to soak in thou shalt prosper. And you can put a glass of water on it, like I do with the Psalms, the Psalms bedside altar. That's a viral video on the YouTube channel. You put a glass of water on the psalm on your bedside altar. In the morning, you drink the water. You're drinking the psalms. There were many spells in Egypt where they wrote the spell, then they ripped it up and put it in beer or put it in something that was a liquid, disintegrated it, and then drank the spell. I mean, that's some badass magic right there. But uh, Egypt does have nine parts of the 10 parts of magic. The saying goes that God gave the world 10 parts of magic, and 9 parts he gave to Egypt, to Kemet. So that explains a lot. Take this book, put it on your nightstand. Don't read the ebook version. Get both versions. I always say that about books that you love. Get both versions. Get the ebook version and the paperback or the hardcover version. Here's why you want the hardcover and the ebook. The ebook is for ease and movement around and portability and mobility and convenience. So you're going to take the ebook with you when you go to Dubai, you're in Zanzibar, you're on the beach, we're in the Maldives, you're in Seychelles, and you want to lay on the beach and you want to, or you're not going to carry books, all those books in your suitcase, right? So you have it on your device, whatever kind of device you have. That's what the ebook version of the book is. It's portability, it's mobility, it's convenience. It's also the convenience of tapping on all the links in ebooks. Ebooks are usually full of links that are helpful. The paperback is for your health and for your home and for your well-being because you don't want to blast yourself. I have all these different little glasses around here that are blue light blocking glasses because this blue light is just tearing up people's, scrambling people's brains and tearing up people's eyes and all that stuff invisibly. We don't know it. We don't feel it. It's just blue light just blaring your eyes. And your eyes are not used to that. So I have all these blue light blocking glasses and stuff like that. So if you read a paper book before you go to bed, it'll be kind to your eyes, kind to your brain, kind to your circadian rhythms, so that you're not blasting yourself with the blue light of electronics before bed. They say you really want to turn the electronics off 2 hours before bed. Now, I don't practice that. I'm not good at that. That's why I have the blue light blocking glasses, because I may look at something before I go to bed, like YouTube videos. I love these fashion, beauty. I may watch a little something like that before I go to bed, something very high end luxury fashion, because that's part of me soaking my subconscious in that before I go to sleep. It's part of my bedtime rituals that I flood the consciousness, like maybe with Pinterest, with a whole bunch of images and things that I absolutely love. And then it just start happening because your subconscious is going to chew on it all night. Well, when you are at night, if you don't have the blue light blocking glasses, or you don't put your devices on night mode, or get the amber light in there more than the blue light, you're going to start having health issues. So you want to have the paperback, the last thing you put your eyes on after you take it off the electronics, if you're not using, the blue light and the blocking and all that. Go to get your paperback, and it's just paper. It's not harming anything. So you read, you absorb, you're already in the bed, your subconscious is picking it up. This is going to be the last thing you look at night. Then, if you want to really get into it, get your water, a glass, a clear glass. You want the energy clearly flowing through. Fresh water, clear glass on the paragraph you read. Now, to tell you the honest truth, you probably could eat this entire book. People eat paper all the time. Paper is from wood. You probably could eat this entire book. You could buy one for eating. Kid you not. You just take the paper and you could rip the paper page by page out of the book. I'm not telling you to eat anything that is dangerous to your health or anything that is, what's the word, poisonous or has chemicals in it, anything like that. You could either rip the pages and you could soak them, or you could write it on an edible element. You could write this book or write highlights of this book, just like we do with Bible spells and things like that. And we write things on bay leaves. People write spells on things all the time. They write spells on the inside of bowls, like we find spells with bowls, and then everything you put in that bowl and drink from that bowl is energized with the spell. I mean, we find tons of ancient bowls and things, spells going all around. Now, if you're going to eat the book, you could write it on something edible. Draw it in your grits in the morning. Use your imagination. Carve it into your bread, into your toast. Use your imagination. That's why you have it. To take yourself high. Thou shalt prosper. One of my all-time favorite books. Now, I'll tell you where to find this. If you go to ValerieLove.com, I'll show you where to find this on my website. So if you go to ValerieLove.com and you click on books, and then you go to Valerie Love's Amazon recommendations page, if you would be so kind as to use my link. It is a affiliate link. It is an affiliate link. So by all means, if you do use it, that is wonderful for the channel. As you see, I have the books curated. I'm going to add more than just books. I have the books curated, and here's the money and wealth. Look at it right here. That's how good that book is. That is how good that book is. Right up top. Right up top. Get that book and then come back and tell us what happened. I'm going to be right back in that book again on January 1st. I promise you that. I'll probably have it with me in Mexico. I will have that book right with me in Mexico, and I will be right back in that book again. By the way, look at this necklace I got in Mexico. I have to show you this necklace. Now, family, guess for me, how much do you think this necklace was here in Mexico? Guess for me. This is fabric right here, embroidered. Guess for me, how much do you think this necklace is? How much? Just take a stab at it. There's the little interconnecting, the little. How much do you think? Just throw some numbers in the chat. I just love it because it looks Mayan to me a little bit. Do you see it has some I need to shine it up a little bit more. I just love it. It's got symbology. 45. Okay, Denelzia, 45. And this is all fabric. I love that they put the fabric on the metal. Can you see that? And you see the embroidery? I mean, it's just so, isn't it gorgeous? Alina. Oh my goodness, Alina, when I saw it, I was like, give it to me. And I'm not a big green person. And I don't have a lot of green. I do have some. And yeah, how much? Give me some thoughts. We got one at 45, 15 to 20. Excellent. Soul Whisperer knows the pricing down here in Mexico. Because you know if it's in Mexico, it ain't expensive. Who else? In Mexico could be $10. Hello. Isis Divine Tarot and Soul Whisperer, $13. Did they have did they have matching earrings for the pattern? Did they have matching earrings for this one? I don't remember. Probably not, because I probably would have stashed the earrings somewhere. I don't believe I would have worn the earrings with this. Yeah, it's so dramatic that I said, I have to have this. Okay, family. Okay, family. Much love to you from Mexico. That is, of course, Miracles for Today, lesson 328. You know, we have the live conversation going on Clubhouse. You are so loved. You are so loved. Mwah. Happy Turkey Day. Peace. Kaisi out.